correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
Welcome to Me and Steve Talk RPG, the podcast where me and my friend Steve...
We're playing games this time.
Before we begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge something important. The setting of this campaign, Origin, is inspired by West African cultures, histories, and aesthetics. None of the players, and certainly not myself, have lived experience or even ancestry from that part of the world. While Origin is part of the canonical setting for Exalted, I've drawn on real-world West African traditions to help bring the setting more fully to life. This isn't meant to be an accurate historical or cultural portrayal, and it is definitely not a commentary on any real-world nations, peoples, or beliefs. One key difference is theological. While Timbuktu and the surrounding regions were deeply shaped by the arrival of Islam, Exalted has its own divine and mythological structure that plays out very differently. My hope is to approach these inspirations with respect and care, and I welcome feedback if I fall short. In the session notes, there will be a short list of resources to learn about the real history of West Africa and the Sahel. Thank you. All right. I guess we can start playing then. And Makala stands up, bows, and departs.
Mm-hmm.
Logan, Nim, and your Baram are clean and ready to go and dressed and headed back to the marketplace, question mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Notes. I just need to put some notes somewhere. I'll add it later. Yeah, we head back to the marketplace.
Darsa looks at you both a little bit dubiously and says, and asks Baram if he has his letters and numbers, and he says, of course, ma'am, and demonstrates it by, doing some basic addition for her, and she goes, okay, you're hired then, and starts instructing him on his duties, and she looks at Nim and says, I'll let you know in a week if you have earned credibility or my wrath. Because that's the only two real outcomes I see happening here.
I look forward to either opportunity. And he smiles and he actually bows to her in a very traditionally Southern style, respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
I get the impression out of character she is older, right?
Yeah, she's in her late 40s.
Much older than his 1920 summers, but he does show deference to her and bows with the appropriate flourish.
Mm-hmm.
I will be in touch with you in a week. Congratulations to you, Baram. I believe in you. And he makes polite social cues with him too before leaving the merchant stall and just wandering through the merchant district now kind of on his own, just enjoying the day. He's walking around a little cockily, I will admit, but that's okay.
So what are you guys going to do for the kind of the rest of the festival? Let's just kind of, cover that in generalities.
I think after giving it a couple days for the initial whatever to kind of blow over, would like to make some kind of covert-ish observation of the Red Fang HQ and what's happening there.
It is locked up. The Red Fangs have left the city for something. It's not abandoned, Okay, it is locked up. There are maybe a dozen red fangs, sticking around to keep an eye on the place. But the vast majority of it, but most of them look like they have injuries or sickness or something like that. There's only like one healthy guy, and he's the one in charge. Everyone else is, people that you wouldn't take along on a march if you were going somewhere. Parviz, what's your main focus going to be for the rest of the festival?
I really think Parviz is just along for the ride. He is enjoying the festivities at this point.
Okay.
I don't feel there's any pressing matters that he needs to attend to, and is just sort of bebopping his way around.
All right, and Jen, are you continuing to run the hospital?
The free clinic?
The street,
Yes.
The street clinic? Yeah.
Yes.
After about 2 days, a priest of Adamant Solrak approaches you and says, "Madam, I can't help but notice. Would you like a building or a stall or something to operate from? You are doing a great thing. Would you like some facilities?"
I would love that. It would be much easier, and perhaps as long as none of the people who would come see me would feel trapped, it would be easier. We could perhaps get out of the sun. And unfortunately, this won't be permanent. I'm only passing through, but I feel like this is something that I could do.
He says, "Well, I realize that you can't just give things away forever, but I believe that between ourselves and Omanala, and the clergy of Omanala, we will rent you a small building for perhaps a month, and if you are still here, then we'll enter into a more long-term arrangement. Would that be acceptable?"
So basically, this is out of character. He's basically saying, "Here, let me give you a place. Let me rent you a place to kind of set up an information network from for a nominal fee."
Well, I mean, he's thinking of it as a free clinic, and if the clergy of Adamant Solrock pay for it, then they get to take some credit for it.
I will bow very politely and say that would be most helpful, and I do appreciate it.
All right, and so yeah, within a day you have a small building, and it has a sign on the front that says "Provided by the priesthood of Adamant Solrock." All right.
Of course it does. One of the things that I will ensure, though, is that priests are more than welcome to come and help, but any proselytizing will get them kicked out.
Okay. I mean, they're really... most of what you get is Omanala. Omanala has some of her priests have medical knowledge. Some of her other priests are judges and so forth. You also get a viper who watches the place at night. One of the sacred vipers of Omanala.
Sounds awesome.
And yeah, yes, you could probably talk the merchant into that. So towards the end, you guys are actually going to be towards the end of the festival. You guys are actually going to be approached by a woman. She's probably in her 50s. She's tall, sharp-eyed. She's not Galena. She's the indigenous people, but she's walking with a purpose, and her back is straight from obviously some old discipline. Her tunic is plain, crisply folded, and her head wrap is pinned with a strip of copper, which is it's a luck tradition, frequently practiced by military and mercenary personnel. And she looks like she's got the musculature of somebody who spent a long time on campaign, but also hasn't gone on campaign recently. She carries a bottle wrapped in cloth, and she's muttering something under the breath. And she approaches. I'm going to say it's at a time when you guys are like basically gotten together for a meal. Mm-hmm. And she approaches you all and says, "I have been told you are the one I want to talk to. Can you all come with me? I do not wish to cause a panic in the streets."
We have not been informed that anyone wanted to speak to us. Perhaps you could give us your name first and what your intentions are.
I am Yenda, and I have a message that I believe is for you, from Tamal Rideslit.
Very good. Yeah, I don't see why we can't speak. Let's go find somewhere more private.
I apologize. John, did you say that her head wrap, the strip of copper, was something that was done by veterans?
Yeah, it's a soldier's custom for luck on the battlefield.
Okay. Because I remember hearing something about listen when the veteran speaks.
You weren't in that conversation, but you
didn't get all of it written down, so.
Your character wasn't in that conversation, but yes, you should remember that.
Parviz is going to apprehensively follow the group, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she takes you and she says, "Come, I have someone at my house who knows the other half of it. But Tamal told me, gave me not much of a message, but when you hear what Jolly has to say, you will understand better. But the message he gave me was Alaskos has been brooding, something's coming, and that noble bastard needs to finish the job without the fire wands." She says, "I'm not entirely sure what all that meant." And the description of you foreigners was, unfortunately, I don't run in the same circles that you do, and it's taken me a while to find you. And she walks you down into, a working class neighborhood, and out front there is the scruffiest looking pony you have ever seen, sort of tied to a post. And inside the house, she introduces you to Jali, Jali, who is a 17-year-old girl who she dresses like the rural poor. Okay, I guess that's the best way to put it. And she looks at Yenda and says, "There's 4 of them? What's that going to do?" "Well, whatever." And she looks at you all and says, "There were men with red sashes seen spotted near the old granaries near my village. I'm sorry. I'm Jolly. I'm the niece and apprentice of the spirit speaker of Namara's Rest." And Yenda says, "It's a village about a day and a half's ride from here, or a day and a half's march from here."
And you need us to...
Well, and she says, "The men with red sashes are probably the Red Fangs."
They're not in town anymore.
They are at her town, it would seem.
And they're going to do something that a noble bastard once done, and originally intended to use fireworks for it, and it's got Alaskos brooding. I don't know who Alaskos is or why he's brooding. I just know what Tamal told me. He also wasn't entirely sober, so then again, Tamal is rarely entirely sober when we talk.
We could approach this situation a little outside of the box.
How do you mean?
Well, you have been rented a hospital, have you not? What if we acquired a hospital that you did not have to pay rent on? Their headquarters, someone said over dinner the other night that it was locked up.
There's a few there. Certainly could kick them out, but...
We could just take it over and send a message that we have their headquarters under our control, including whatever assets they have stored there. I think that would matter a lot to them, perhaps more than it does to this noble who's hired them. And we could perhaps kill two birds with one stone. We would have to send a message to them, of course, that we have acquired their facility and begun renovations. How else can I piss them off? Ooh, we could give all of their possessions to those in need. Yes. You know, I think I figured out how I'm going to pay Bahram's week of wages. This is wonderful.
I think there's a smirk on Cyclone's face with that last comment. My concern is this. They've left town to do something, to continue doing whatever it was they needed that shipment for. I don't think they're coming back to town peacefully. Taking over their headquarters, all well and good, certainly would piss them off. That I don't necessarily have a problem with, but...
John, so having heard the noble bastard, Jolly spits on the floor and says, Lord Vesikar, it has to be him.
Could we roll to know who that is?
You guys haven't really dug into the nobility. He's a noble, and she explains quickly. He owns the land that we farm on, and the last harvest there were an infestation of locusts that wiped out more than a third of the harvest. We can't pay rent, and if we did fully, we told Vesikar this, Lord Vesikar this, but he, Hasar Veka, sorry, bleh, words. We told Lord Veka this, and he did not seem inclined to deliver. So we withheld what we needed, so that we would have seed to plant it, and so that we would have food for the village. And she sort of shrugs and says, "It would not be the first time mercenaries have been turned on a village that couldn't pay rent."
They were seen there when?
Yesterday. I wrote here, my aunt sent me here as soon as they were seen to look for help.
How many are there?
The total group of Red Fangs is about 400-ish.
There's quite a number of them out there, or could be.
And your 4 solars, what do you want?
I mean, this...
I think I was just wondering if we took over, like, if we sent a message that we've taken over their shit, that wouldn't force them to turn back and leave the village alone?
Well, it depends. It's going to take that messenger a day to ride out there, and
I have a bird.
You're gambling. And then you're gambling. And there's no way for you to know whether that's going to work or not. You don't know how much Hasar Veka is paying them, and what sort of timeline he has them.
Fair. That's very fair. Thank you.
This is, I think, very close to something that Cyclone just can't abide.
Parviz is, very clearly upset by this, and
Yenda says many of the nobles think that if they can remove the hereditary tenants, then they can replace them slaves and demand a greater portion of the rent and have fewer problems.
well, then at that point we need to remove a noble. We have a small army we need to attend to first.
On that note, I'm going to call about a 10-minute break. You guys can argue about what you're going to do, or you can take your own break as you will, but I have got to sit up and take some steps and make another cup of tea.
Absolutely.
This is getting good.
So I'm going to step away too, but I had a thought. We need to. Who controls their supply lines? 400 soldiers, mercenary soldiers, whatever you want to call them. They need to eat.
The village has a lot of grain.
Huh?
The village has a lot of grain.
Okay, so disrupting their supply lines isn't necessarily something we can do.
No.
Okay.
No.
I think we
take
need
your
to...
break.
Then let's go them up. Shit.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we need to take a shot across the bow at this point.
Yep.
I
gotta pull pizza out of the oven, so I'm gonna take a break as well.
Let's go in a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm back.
Looks like we've got everybody but old Steve.
It does appear that way.
All right, there we go. So, what are you guys going? What's you guys' plan? Do you have a plan yet, or are you going to discuss?
We're gonna go some mercenaries.
Well, that, and I think we're not gonna do it alone. Parviz sort of steps up and is like, if we go to your town and we ask for assistance with pushing back these mercenaries, would the town folks assist?
She says, well, Sefu would, but Sefu's an idiot. But he also has some of the young people that listen to him because he's an idiot.
Absolutely. How many idiots do you think he has?
20?
20 is better than 0. Thank you.
For reference, that's 10% of the population of this town.
Perfect. Perfect. That's what Parviz was hoping for.
I don't see anything other than direct confrontation as a viable option, unfortunately.
I agree.
When we defeat them, can we please take their building?
Yes, absolutely.
They won't
We
need
take
it.
everything of theirs.
We need a headquarters, right? You need a clinic. I need a place to sleep. It's a win-win for all of us, really.
I mean, I'm down. If nothing else, I'm down for a fight.
Well then, let's get some animals and get out there.
All right. Yeah, you can borrow some. You can rent some horses. That probably wouldn't be too bad. You could find the equivalent of a livery stable, and go from there. Jolly will cheerfully lead the way for you.
Parviz will sort of follow right behind Jolly.
All right. You guys are going to, yeah, like I said, you guys are going to, it'll take about a day to get there. So, along the way, she'll just, Jolly will explain that she's, that the noble has never really liked their village because they have, they have an older agreement with the noble, and it's enshrined in law and custom about what percentage of the crop they get, and how many days of corvée labor they're required. It's days that they work for free, for their lord, and all this other stuff. And that he's tried renegotiating, but nobody's really interested in renegotiating to a worse deal, because it's always like, oh well, we'll do this lower thing for 2 years and then this other thing, and everybody's like, no, because that's a That's 2 years of low rent in exchange for the rest of eternity at high rent. No, we're taking the medium rent and sticking with it. So, yeah, like I said, he's not a big fan of them. They're not a big fan of him, but they also know that they're not in a good position if it turns into a fight. They can't really afford a fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right.
So, as we get far, out,
Mm-hmm.
Based on the interactions I've seen others here have with their familiars,
Mm-hmm.
would it be possible for me to have Spots kind of just go out and see what he sees around this village? Or is that
yeah, that's totally a thing. And yeah, that's perfectly fine. If you guys want to stop like 2 miles away and send Spots up, the first thing Spots will notice is stinky humans, which there's humans, and then there's humans that are stinky humans. Spots has learned hanging around humans that they like to wash regularly, and while he thinks it's a ridiculous thing, it does make an easy way to tell humans apart. And so there's a large group of stinky humans, and they are in 4 groups surrounding the city, or surrounding the town, I should say, in the 4 compass points / major roads coming out. They're basically blockading the town, and they're patrolling in between the 4 groups. They're patrolling back and forth, but they're doing it really sloppy and undisciplined, and you're pretty sure that you could march anything short of an actual realm legion through their patrols without being noticed.
Okay. So I think on that information, Jolly, have they done this before?
She says, no, they've never sent mercenaries to go collect the rent. That's new.
Oh, I mean more in the apparently blocking the roads.
No, that's very strange. That's very scary.
So what's the best play here?
I say we sneak in and act from within so that they can't retreat and harm the town further. I have a feeling they're just going to bully and kill if they don't get what they're supposed to, and I'm not okay with that.
I don't think any of us are. Sneak in. You pretty sure we could get through these guards?
Well, Spot says we could get anything short of... Well, he said something about probably not a herd of rhinos through between unnoticed, but he means as long as we aren't obvious, we can get through.
Okay. I think that sounds our best option. And I guess if we run into any issues, we can easily dispatch a handful of mortals.
Well, let's hope it doesn't.
If push comes to shove.
Yes. At least not to start things off. If our intentions are what I think they are, well, blood will be shed.
Probably theirs.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Well, should we enter together or find our own ways in? Or rather, sneak in together?
Well,
You're fairly sure you could do it.
I say we sneak together. There's no point in... If we could fit a herd of rhinos according to Spots. Spots has yet to let me down so far, so... Yeah.
was
By
that
the
an
way,
appropriate paraphrasing, by the way? I just felt like that was...
yeah. By the way, did you bring Samarad Farouk? Or did you leave him behind for this one?
I left Farouk.
Okay.
But I did bring Yaniv to assist with rounding up some friends and getting us a place to conversate with these people. Figured we could use an extra hand. Parviz's best friend, supporter, and partner in crime.
Oh.
He's the one that's cool with me doing crimes.
Okay.
Farouk is not cool with me doing crimes.
Farouk would like to know what the heck is going on.
Right.
He's the one that's like, well, when you go crazy, I'm going to attempt to beat you to death.
Yes.
Until then, I got your back.
He's the guy with the 2x4 when you work on electrical stuff.
Yes. All right. Cool. So, you guys make it through into the town pretty easily, and are almost immediately noticed when you enter the town. The first to approach you all is an older woman who basically hugs Jolly and says, you brought back some help. Oh, you brought back help. Oh, okay. And she introduces herself. I'm Tamakwe. I am the spirit speaker, or spirit talker of Namara's Rest. I welcome you to our village, and I'm fascinated to hear what your plan is. She says, the animals up there have said that we have until sundown to bring the full amount of the rent plus a handling fee to them.
And what are they saying will happen if you don't?
They're leaving that undefined, but their actions give me little doubt that they bring fire and death on us.
Well, it's a good thing that even at night the sun still exists, I suppose.
She says, well, at night or in the sun, nobody's ever really stood up for us before.
Well, perhaps it's time that changed. And he bows to her and looks to the circle. Are we ready?
At this point, by the way, an older man comes up, in his late 50s, wearing a red sash. It's faded and frayed, tied with an elaborate knot, and he's carrying a ledger stick, which is a engraved walking stick used to count harvest shares. And he approaches and says, who are you, and what is your part in this? I am Bariki, headman of this village.
We were brought to help.
How can you help?
Through many means. Persuasion, might if necessary, but persuasion is preferred.
He looks a little dubious, but hey, he says, well, I thought persuasion and reason would suffice, but what those mercenaries are demanding, there are more of them than there are people in this town.
And there are 5 of us.
Plus a hyena, the size of a horse.
Spots is no problem.
And an eagle.
Oh, and you hear a little mouse squeak on Nim's shoulder. Yes, we know you're here too, lovely. And he, scratches its ears. I think these seem like fair odds.
Yeah, and I brought Yadiv. Everything's gonna be good.
An eagle? What eagle? I'm counting a raven.
Oh, sorry, Raven. Wrong familiar.
Wrong character.
Wrong character.
Our friend here had mentioned a name. Said he was a bit of a fool.
And there's a real awkward look on the spirit speaker and the teenager's face, and the headman's eyes sort of narrow and says, oh really? What was that? What name was that?
I'm blanking. I'm literally blanking.
I didn't write it down, so I have a feeling it was Bariki, but
No, it was Sefu.
okay.
Sefu. As he's pushing for the name, Sefu was, I think, the name that was mentioned.
Logan, difficulty 0 read intentions check.
Yeah.
Bariki is kind of pissed at the moment, and he goes, "Oh, that's Sefu is my son."
Oh, I mean no disrespect. I'm just repeating what was told to me.
And he death glares Jolly like he wants to rip her off the horse and beat her to death with that tally stick.
6 successes.
Oh yeah, that's his kid. And he's kind of pissed off about strangers calling him an idiot.
With all due respect, sir, people refer to me often as an idiot too. Our capabilities manifest often in strange ways. I am sure your son is very capable. And words said under duress and stress are often not meant as intentional. We are really here to help. However that may need to happen.
He says, "Well, what do you want with my son? You better not be planning to encourage him in his damn fool ideas."
What are his damn fool ideas?
Oh, he wants to take the whole village up into the hills and become bandits.
Oh, no, that absolutely not. That's not what we need. No. He is young. I understand that we are both. I am assuming he's young. I'm assuming he's about my age. I understand his need and desire to want to accomplish something. He simply needs to be pointed in the right direction. We will work on that.
Well, I've been trying that for 17 years. Good luck, buddy.
I understand. I understand. But hearing it from someone else can sometimes be more beneficial. Perhaps you allow us to help you. He can see us in our success, and we can put his energies to a better use. We will help you. We have plans.
You've got a plan. He points at the spirit talker. She's got a plan. Everybody's got a plan. What is your plan?
Well, my plan is to beat the ever-living shit out of them. And then we're going to free you from the yoke of tyranny of this noble who you were in a bad deal with. You are going to be masters of your own lives, and we are going to create mutually beneficial relationships to reshape the South. How does that sound as a start?
Seconded.
He looks at you for a moment and says, "Sounds delusional. I'll believe it when I see it."
How religious are you, sir?
An ordinary amount.
Well, I suggest you start...
He says, I revere the gods and spirits and those who bless the fields, and she who watches over the grain, and yes, all the gods that we worship in this town.
Well, while we're kicking their ass, how about you do me a favor and pray to them for guidance? And he's not saying it mockingly. His tone isn't mockingly. It's weirdly in earnest.
Okay, and I think he's charismatic enough that he would pick up on that, and he says, "All right, well, whatever you're going to do, don't just do this and then walk away. We have to live with the consequences of this action."
Of course.
To be honest, I don't see a way out. I've tried talking to them. Their demands are inflexible, and I believe that our dear landlord has become impatient with our assertions of our traditional rights.
Well, you'll have new rights soon.
And he's using this locust thing as an excuse.
So tell me, they appear to be on all main roads. One direction or other seem to be the leader's camp.
So I guess I misspoke, because there's two. There are only 4 banners, and 2 of them, as well as the leaders, are to the east. Then there's one to the southwest and one to the northwest. So half the force, including all the leaders, is to the east.
Okay, so there's a bulk to the east, and then basically just barricade squad the other direction.
Well,
I mean, a little more than that.
I mean,
but...
each of the forces is about 100 men.
Okay, so they are roughly even?
Yes. Each of the four banners are 100 men, but 2 of the banners are together on the east side.
Okay.
So it's surrounded in 3 directions then, because there's 400 men, right? Roughly?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it's east, west, and south, or east, west, and north?
It is northwest, southwest, and east.
Okay.
Okay. I had to adjust the scale a little bit.
Yeah, if you kind of... I did drag everybody's token out, so... If
My
you
troop
think
just got
of it,
here. I will be right back.
Mm-hmm. There, so you guys are kind of... You guys are in the middle, and then there's 3 directions you can go. I've roughly... it's not a map, and it doesn't need to be, but I've roughly sketched it out.
So, it makes the most sense to me if we strike against the largest force.
I would like to... I agree with that sentiment. However, Parviz would like to meet with the Sun and see if we can get any of his rebels to even help with a distraction. Something less dangerous while we go in and do the majority of the work. I just want to make them feel involved in this.
Okay.
Agreed.
As it is their town, and we're trying to be like, hey, as a sign of goodwill, we've come to help. And instead of us rolling in and being like, well, we killed those guys, and we killed the boss, and figure it out. Just, a thought.
Yeah, like almost maybe if they could see my quandary here is that Cyclone is concerned that the other 2 units collapse on the village if we're fighting the 2 banners that are to the east. And at that point, if you count everyone in the village, that's about an even fight between soldiers and farmers, which means it's not really a fair fight.
Yeah, it's an even numerical fight, though.
Right. Yes, it's about I don't know how I said it, but it's even numbers, but it's not. I
wonder if we could come up with something to equip those rebels with to do some sabotage in a way. Much like we did previously. Maybe we could sabotage the 2 smaller groups while we go take on the larger group. They don't seem... These are mercenaries. They're tied to the highest bidder. We saw, based on how much trouble we stirred up in the last town, that we can make them rethink their life decisions, in a way.
Yes, but we have, a couple of hours at best?
I mean, a bomb.
Yeah, about 3 hours to the sundown.
Yeah. Suppose it is worth seeing what, and turning to Bariki. What do you have in the village in ways of defending yourselves?
He sort of shrugs and says, knives, scythes. The shepherds and such carry spears to fend off wild animals.
Mm-hmm.
No armor, no shields, no helmets, none of that.
Wish we'd have thought a little bit about it. We could have done some arms trafficking on the way up here.
Look, that was in my brain, but, the problem is we were beating feet and hauling a stolen arms shipment out of the city. Probably is.
I'm not saying the whole arms shipment. I'm just saying a handful of those things might have been a little useful.
Well...
but we can figure it out.
I mean, I know how we could get them all to attack us at once.
Well...
As do I.
And
if you give me
just taps his forehead a little bit.
Well, if you give me a stage large enough and a microphone big enough, I can hear all their voices. Or they could hear mine.
Now, just again addressing Bariki. What was your existing agreement for how much coin and how much are the mercenaries demanding?
He says, "Oh, no not coin. We pay in bushels of grain. And he explains it to you. I don't honestly have that stuff memorized, but basically what they're demanding is the full rent plus about 25% as late fees and handling charges, which would not only wipe out all their seed for the next season, but also leave people to starve to death.
So what I'm trying to get at here, to just make it quick, I say we approach the mercenaries with the offer that they turn around and go away, and we will deliver the payment that the village has. And this is where, like, I'm assuming, like, Parviz might be a little more knowledgeable as far as values, whatever. Like, in terms of our finances, how short are they? Are they, like...
Significantly short.
Okay.
Yeah, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, Deck, but they're not looking for... They don't care about coin at this point at all. They're looking for the grain exclusively. Is that correct?
They're looking for the grain, and at this point, they're also jacking things up so that they have an excuse to wipe out the village. Paying them off is, at best, a short-term solution.
Yeah.
Well, so what I was thinking here is we go to the mercenaries with the offer of, this is what you can have and you can leave, or we can do it the hard way.
Okay.
Instead of just outright assault.
Okay.
To kick things up. That's what Steve is thinking. Like, ideally, the thing would be, you guys go away, we'll bring the payment in, but I know that's not going to work. I'm just saying that was where my head was.
All right. It's a perfectly cromulent place to put your head. Is everybody going on this little parlay?
You know what I'm saying, though? Like essentially, we approach with, this is the offer. Part of my thought was, like, because our quarrel largely is with the Red Fang in this circumstance, less so with the Lord, although the Lord appears to be a bit of a sleaze, too.
I mean, who do you think has hired the Red Fang to go enforce order?
Well, right.
Yeah, from Parviz's point of view, his quarrel is less with the Red Fang and more with the noble at this point.
Well,
because they're just a mercenary group hired to do a job, not the person that hired them to do the job to be a slumlord.
I find it incredibly funny that we're looking at this exactly the opposite way. Like, yeah. And I'm not, like, it's not that one of us is right and the other one's wrong. It's just that we're literally looking at this and going, I have more of a problem with them. He's not good, but these are the guys I don't like. And it's literally...
Well, Parviz just goes back to remember the last time we had a bunch of these guys in a room together, we ended up with a handful of them that actually trust us.
Are any of them here?
Well, that's the other...
That's the other
point
question.
Is if we go out... we at least make ourselves known before stuff kicks off.
Do we
Like,
want
to...
Sorry, not to keep throwing wrenches, but do we really want to make ourselves known at this point? We tried to keep a low profile the last time we did stuff.
Well,
and there are clearly forces at work larger than a village, a town, a city.
Well, Cyclone, if some of them know you, perhaps you parlay with them. Parviz, you work with the man's son to get the rebels ready for anything that might happen. And the rest of us can either go with either one of you to serve as backup.
Fair enough.
You actually spoke with the men in their employ. A couple of them might recognize me, but you spoke to a couple of them.
I did?
Yes.
Oh.
After the warehouse. Or during the warehouse episode.
Oh, right. Duh. Sorry. That's Logan being having a total moment. I apologize. Well, then I will go with you, Cyclone. I'm happy to assist.
I think, with no disrespect, having a healer on hand to make sure that any troops are fully well and up to date sounds pretty appeasing to me.
Give it a second. There's a small person issue downstairs.
Ah, got it.
What's going on?
She's eating dinner, and there are two dogs that are very, very interested in her food.
Oh. Okay.
What? I've never met a golden that was interested in food.
Dog's food? Excuse me?
Never. Never dogs and food.
Right?
Not my dog sitting under my desk here eating my pizza crust. No.
All right. So,
But anyways, sort of discussed the idea of Steve's character and Logan going to check out the mercenaries, and then I'm going to speak with the son and have him gather his troops. And if you would like to come along to maybe assist with getting them, any medical aid they might need to make sure they're as healthy as possible, or taken care of in any way that they might need, would be greatly appreciated.
all right. So, Parviz is hanging back, and Cyclone is going forward, and Nim is going with Cyclone.
We could have Fen just patrolling the village since he's not here.
Yeah. Spots staying in the village or going with you?
I think have him kind of flank to the south. I'm assuming we probably have some sort of like whistle code type thing we've used in the past.
Yeah.
Of just basic signals, not,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, kind of in that arc, so to speak, between in that general area.
And Jen, what is Firamar Saelen doing?
Player is choking. Hold on.
Oh no.
Oh no, that's fine. I just managed to swallow something. Went down the wrong pipe. Because we're an odd number, right?
There's 4 of y'all here. Finn is out consuming alcohol or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not NPCing a full solo. Thank you now.
No, I don't blame you. I'd actually like to go with the negotiation party, or the party to talk to people.
Okay. So, because of reasons, I'm gonna do Parviz's conversation with Sefu, who's like 17 years old and has a knife, and he's very proud of it. And he's got a spear, and within about 30 seconds of talking to him, you realize this dude has no training whatsoever other than sort of this is how you use a spear to chase off wild animals.
Point the end towards bad things.
Yeah, and his troops are they're all like 15 to 20 years old, and about half of them are armed with spears, and the rest of them, well, actually, all of them have rocks for throwing.
Well, Parviz talks to him. He's like, I understand you're very excited for some things to go down, and I also see that you are not well trained with the weapons you possess, and that is okay. I like the enthusiasm. However, let me discuss with my cohorts, as we may have other plans for you and your crew that may be helpful, aside from a frontal assault, as I don't want to see you lose in the way I've seen many others lose.
All right. So you guys walk out from the village, and how are you announcing yourselves? Or are you waiting for them to ask?
I follow Cyclone's lead on this.
I think at this point, Cyclone is literally just walking straight up road. Like,
All right.
like not making any pretense of hiding.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you guys get like maybe 50 yards away from the main group, and a couple of them walk out, and they're like, "Who the hell are you? What are you doing here?"
Come to speak to your commander.
Well, that's not typical. You from that village down there?
I think at this point, Cyclone looks at them, looks back to the village, looks back at them and says, "No, I fell out of the sky. Where do you think I came from?"
Well, if you're here to negotiate, all he's going to do is cuss you out and tell you to bring what you owe.
Is that all he'll do?
If you're lucky, you catch him in a bad mood, he might give you something to remember him by.
Oh, I really hope I catch him in a bad mood then. And Nim bites his bottom lip. Now, can we please negotiate with him? The day is growing short.
Yep. That's why we're eating the last of our food before we go down and, explain to them, peasants, about how they should pay their bills.
The last of your food, you say?
No, not the last of our food. The last meal of the day. Were you dropped as a child? And he just wanders off.
He just smirks and goes, "Might have been."
He wanders off, and after a couple of minutes, you guys see a very large guy, a towering man, weathered face, piercing pale blue eyes, streaks of gray in his hair. He's got jagged scars. He's got a nose that looks like it has been broken more times than he can probably remember. He's got a missing finger on his left hand, and he's got a large cleaver-like sword, and he just walks down.
His sword, is it a magical material?
No.
Okay.
No. He just looks at you all and says, "What?"
We've come to negotiate for your... Cyclone, what's the word? Surrender? No, not surrender. Actually, I'd really like you to bend a knee to me.
I think at this point, Cyclone just chuckles. Like,
have you been getting into the moldy bread?
You have moldy bread too? No food and moldy bread? That explains so much. Look, I'm a busy man. You're a busy man. What's it gonna take for you to just leave?
Oh, I already told.
Or bend your knee.
I already told. Well, so bending the knee ain't gonna happen. For us to leave, they pay what they owe. It's that simple.
And is it a promise that you won't bend a knee?
Yes.
Care to shake on that?
I'm done wasting my time here. And he turns.
I will pull a pebble from my pocket and throw it at his head.
I'm going to assume you have at least one dot and throw.
Absolutely not.
Or a dexterity more than two.
I have
or a dexterity more than two.
I do have a dexterity more than two.
Pop him in the head with the pill.
I will spend a willpower on that if I need to as well.
You don't need to spend a willpower on that. You pop him in the head, and he turns around and he says, "Excuse the f*** out of me."
What happened? I don't know. He shows his hands.
He walks up to you, he gets in your personal space, and he lifts his hand, and if you don't do something, he is going to backhand you across the face.
Oh, is he? He starts to backhand me by the face, and I'm going to, go into my, what form do I have? It's the swaying grass style. Into the swaying grass style, and his body just, turns into, this wave that undulates down as he bends back and spins into a handspring to tap this guy's hand with his foot, out of the way as he's now 2 feet away from him. I can do this all day, and I will absolutely roll for that. I just need to get my stuff.
No, what you need to roll is closer to a joined battle.
Oh, is that what I'm rolling?
Yeah, you should definitely roll a joined battle.
Intro and outro music by the band 12 Noon. You can email us at meandsteverpg@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter and RPGs. Find us on Facebook at Me and Steve RPG Podcast, on Discord at Me and Steve RPGs, and as always, all of these links are in the show notes Thank you, and be kind to one another.
How much for the cigar?
Cigar, $20, dog. You gotta go down the street to the store and buy that.